Hi there, my name is Tyson, and this is my workout. All you need is a towel, or a bed sheet, or any material that you can do this with. There are specific problems that only you are capable of solving. You just don't know them yet. Or maybe you do, they're just, tucked away. Begin by laying on your back, knees bent, feet flat on the floor. Hands can be by your side. Begin by creating an arch with your low back so that your hand can fit underneath your low back with your tailbone still touching and your shoulder blades still touching. Then breathe out and collapse the arch to the point where your tailbone begins to come off the ground. Breathe in, create the arch, and repeat. If you imagine your hips as a bowl of soup, on the inhale, creating the arch, you're pointing the bowl towards the sky, filling the bowl. On the exhale, collapsing the arch, pouring the bowl towards you. Try to reach a comfortable maximum contraction in each direction. Completely emptying the bowl and completely filling the bowl. Now, grab your knees and pull them to your chest. If you experience any tightness or discomfort in the low back, feel free to let the knees be farther away from the chest. And then pull, and if you can, hug your shins towards your body and work up to a maximum hug, saying good morning to your chest and abdominal muscles. If you can lift your forehead towards your knees, you'll feel the lift coming from the abdominals. Relax on that and roll over onto your stomach with legs extended. Hands can either be by your side or, if you prefer, up by your face to allow your head to come off the ground, or even resting your hands under your chin. Begin breathing into the floor, reaching as close as you can comfortably get to 100% capacity and letting it go. You don't need to push the air out, you can just let it exhale. And when your body sends the signal to inhale, begin inhaling, flex the abs, pushing out against the earth into as close as you can to 100% and letting go. You're trying to inflate 360 degrees around your spine. So not only pushing into the ground, but if someone's hand was on your back, you'd be trying to lift their hand. And if their hands were on your sides, you'd be trying to push their hands away as well. So now, going to go into the squat position. Take your towel and fold it into a narrow as possible and lay it on the ground in a circle with the tails connecting. I want you to bunch up the ends so that you can get the whole end underneath your foot. For the squat, fold up your towel as narrow as possible and lay it in a circle with the ends touching. Try to bunch up as much material in the ends so that you can step with your heels on them. So now bend down and get your elbows underneath the towel. This is going to be the bottom of a squat. From here, you're going to arch the low back, or you could think about filling the bowl. You're trying to rotate your pelvis as far forward as possible. You're going to brace your abs as if you're breathing into the ground. Have a big chest, tall spine, and lift. And relax. You're trying to go from 0 to 100, from monk to superhero. If you imagine your pet or fur baby, or maybe even significant other, is trapped under a log that just so happens to be at towel height, you are trying to get as close to 100 as you can without change in your spine position. If you begin to see the spine or begin to feel the spine rounding, you're trying too hard. So now for the deadlift, we're going to do two variations. The first is going to be a simple one that is limited by grip strength, and the second one we're going to tie ourselves in and our posterior chain will become the limiting factor. So for the first version, you're just going to fold the towel up, bunch it up into as thin a line as possible, and stand in the middle. Your feet are going to be relatively close together, if not touching, heels touching, and I want you to try and put the toes slightly pointed out. Bring your hands down until your knees are in your elbows. So not only do I want your knees in your elbows, I also want your knees flush with your elbows, so they shouldn't be too far forward or back. From here, you're going to again arch the low back and big chest. Breathe into the floor and lift and relax. For the second variation of the deadlift, we're going to tie ourselves in. Grab the towel in the middle with one hand, and you're going to go round the outside with the other one, and hand the end to yourself, whether that be with the same hand or opposite hand. Try to get as close as you can to the end of the material. Try to hold on to as little material as possible, but you do want to be grabbing onto the whole end and tighten. Once you have the first hand tied in, you're going to do the same process, round the outside, then hand the end to yourself with either the same hand or opposite hand. Now this is going to be depending on the towel or bed sheet length you're using, this is going to be a lower deadlift, or what is commonly called a deficit deadlift, meaning your hands are going to be pretty close to your feet or below the middle of your shin, which is okay. It just means your maximum force output will be slightly lower. So put your feet in the middle of the towel, preferably in the middle of your foot or more towards your heels. And you're going to again Now push the knees into the elbows. You're going knees out or knees into elbows. Arch the low back, big chest, brace and inflate the abdominal wall, and save the kitten. Try for a good 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1, and relax. Now we're going to do the bench press. Laying on your stomach, the towel is going to go under your shoulder blades and under your armpits. Grab the ends of the towel and Superman, or try to put the ends of the towel as high overhead as you can. So you're going to try to maintain the towel on this position of your upper back. And now grab the ends of the towel, probably grab midway, somewhere near your forehead or face. And you're going to try and do a push-up. And it doesn't matter if your lower body is from the knees or the feet. I tend to just even go from the hips. You're really only trying with the upper body muscles. So put your shoulder blades in your back pockets and try to push yourself away from the ground. Big breath. Push. And relax. So this is the end of the isometric portion of the workout. Now we're going to move into what I call self-imposed manual resistance. So begin by sitting on the ground and laying the towel over top of your feet and wrapping the ends around. And when you come back through, it doesn't matter if they go over top or underneath, but I tend to prefer underneath. Pull the ends tight so that your feet are close together, and then lay back. With the ends of the towel, you want them coming through your thumb and index finger, so you're going to be giving a thumbs up towards yourself with the towel. Your biceps are going to be contracting against the force that your legs put out. So we're going to start with the bicep in its shortened position. So I want you to bring your hands as close as you can to your face. And this is the top of the bicep curl. Now, slowly extend the arms by using your legs to force the weight down. Should take about 5 seconds. And then at the bottom, take a breath. And again, 5 seconds. Only let the bicep win once it's reached 100% effort, and relax. If at any point you're having trouble feeling the bicep, just pause in the middle of the rep and only let movement occur once you've reached 100% contraction again. So now we're going to do a leg press versus row. Again, 2 variations, one where your grip strength is going to be the limiting factor, and the other where we're going to tie our hands in and our back strength and leg strength are going to be the limiting factor. So for the leg press limited by grip strength, you're going to lay on your back, and you're going to bring your leg down to the bottom of a leg press. And so your foot is going to be very close to your body, and I want your elbows touching the ground. From here, your leg is going to be doing a concentric leg press motion, and your back is going to be doing an eccentric row. Only let the leg win or move once it's reached 100% in that position. And again, at the top, now you're doing a concentric row and an eccentric leg press. Only let the back win once it's earned it. Once it's reached close to, or as close as you can, 100%. Now we're going to do the other leg. And again, contract the leg, try and leg press away from you. Only let it win once it's reached as close to 100% as you can produce. And at the top, you're going to start rowing. Only let the row muscles win when they've gotten as close as they can to 100%. Now we're going to tie our hands in so that they're no longer the bottleneck of the movement. Grab the towel in the middle, go around the outside, hand the ends to yourself, pull the slack out, and again around the outside, hand the end to yourself with the same or opposite hand, and pull out the slack. Initiate the movement, but don't let the leg press win until it's as close as you can to 100%, and try to have a smooth but hard rep. Take a breath at the top, and think about rowing. And only let the row muscles win when they've earned it, when they're as close to 100% as they can get. Begin at the bottom of the leg press. Only let the leg muscles win when they've reached as close to 100% as you can produce. Make a smooth but hard rep. Breathe at the top and row. Again, only letting the row muscles win when they've earned it. And rest. For the overhead press, you're going to take the middle of the towel behind the knee, grab onto the ends, and you're going to go as close as you can to, and you're going to pull your knee as close as you can to your face, even using your opposite leg to try and lift your hips off the ground if that is helpful, and be as close as you can to an overhead press position. From here, we're going to come down we're going to do a practice repetition, so just let your hands come down by your shoulders to the bottom of an overhead press. At the bottom of overhead press, you want to imagine your elbows stacked underneath your wrists, big chest, and now begin to overhead press, letting the shoulders win as they reach as close to 100% as they can, and then going as high as you can, whatever your towel and leg allow, and then come back down. Since the legs aren't working that hard, you probably don't need to do both sides, but just for good measure we will. And we're going to start in the bottom of the overhead press. So you want a big chest, you want your elbows stacked with your wrists. Take a big breath and think about lifting the towel overhead. Take a breath at the top, and now set it down. The last movement of the workout is triceps versus abs. You don't need a towel for this portion. Place your hands on your knees. Try to drive your knees towards your face with your abs, and slowly push away until your arms are fully extended. Now bring your knees back to your chest and resist with your triceps. In the kneeling position, put the middle of the bed sheet underneath your ankles and take the ends and pull them over one of your shoulders by your neck and roll forward. Take an end in each hand and go to the top of an overhead press position. Bending at the elbows and extending the knees, go to the bottom of a tricep extension. From here, contract your triceps and press overhead, only letting the tricep win once it's earned it. At the top, breathe and then flex the elbows, setting it down. From here, we're going to go into the initial bicep versus leg press position. Going to lay the bedsheet across the feet, wrapping the ends under each foot, either above or below does not matter. and curl up into a ball with your hands as close to your face as you can get. From here, you're going to press your legs away and make the biceps set down the weight, keeping the tension in the biceps. Once you reach the bottom, again, take a breath, your palms towards your face, only letting the biceps win when they've reached 100% force production at every inch.